Hey everybody, good evening. It's Bug from Bug Hunter. How's y'all's how's y'all's week been? Um, hey folks, it's been a good week. I'm feeling good. Y'all feeling good? I'm Bug from Bug Hunter. We recently released an album. If you haven't heard about that, it'd be pretty wild to be in this stream. I guess you could have just popped on, but but this is the first time that I'll come on stream after that album came out. I came out on I guess we premiered it Thursday night, and tonight is Wednesday, so it's been almost a week. And I've been pretty busy. I've been out and about, flying around the country, but I'm back home now, as y'all can see, and I've been excited to hop onto a stream and say hello and play some music and chat about happiness without a catch. So first, let's start with who we got here. First I'm going to start by cleaning up this Baby Bell wrapper on my desk because I just made a big mess. Who we got? I see Hellhound, Jenny Mo is here, Time of Sun is here, Jay Morrill, Statue is not late, Poppy is here, everybody, that's funny. Jupiter is here, Windpop, Mr. Welly Collins, Captain Crispy, Coin is here, Coconut Clove, Jams is here, Cornfield Cryptid, Salt Pope, Jamie Plant, we got Mars, we got Almia, Evan Robb, Luciano is here, KG is here, Pocky is here, David Toe is here, and then I think I said all these names probably. Sorry if I missed you. Flying around the country with your super bug hunter sloppy Joe powers. Yes, I will. Maybe, how should I if you're watching the stream, there's gonna be spoilers for the album, so yeah, I don't know how many times I might have to say that during the stream, but the thing about happiness is that you can only listen to it for the first time once. So if you're in this stream and you haven't listened to the new album, this is one of the few times I'll just say you should probably go. You should probably leave. It's a really good album that I'm proud of, but it does have some elements to it that can be spoiled. So I'm gonna just say that if you are here and you really want to go, if you want to hear the album at any point in your life, I wouldn't stick around. Actually, why don't I just add like a little text box here that says spoilers. How do you do text in OBS? Text free type 2 spoilers. And it's gonna say spoilers. Ooh, that's not the font I want at all. Give me a good one. That's the one I want. That's my dude. Yeah. That's too big though. Can't change it. No, I can. There we go. Too small. Okay. This is going here in the corner. Should I have done this before the stream? No. Okay, cool. Spoilers in this chat. So, yeah, I normally, I stream a lot. I'll do like 3-ish songs and like chat a bunch. I'm not really in a huge mood to play a bunch tonight. I would rather chit chat. I'll play a little bit. I got my guitar, but I'm definitely more interested in just kind of chatting about the new album. I've read everything. If you said it on the internet, I've read it. I have looked everywhere for every piece of positive reinforcement that I could possibly find. I just went for a run and got out of the shower, and I was like, oh yeah, I need to stream. So, yes, not if you've ever said it on the internet, I've seen it. If you've ever said it about happiness on the internet, I've seen it. I guess I will start by posing a question to y'all just off the bat. Well, what do you think of it? Did you like it? Seems like y'all like it. The numbers make it seem like y'all liked it. We have had, what is it, five full days now of Spotify data, and all 5 of them have been the best 5 days we've ever had in the history of Bug Hunter. Yeah, by a lot. So yeah, it's really great. Cool. Let's see what we got. Time says the album's wonderful. Literally so many twists and tears. I like that. Emotional whiplash, but loved every minute. Yeah, whiplash. That's a good word. Yeah. Low key, quite obsessed with it. That's awesome. The unexpected plot twist still incredible. Captain Kalinska says, "I am so hooked on random lines on the album." Yeah, I would love to hear what lyrics and lines stood out to people from the album. For me, I've been sitting on these songs in like their complete form for a few months now, but in just other various forms for sometimes years. I was talking in the Discord earlier about how 30 Plan and Alchemical Romance, those choruses were written, I mean, I can't remember the exact like timeline, but like the same like 2-month stretch of writing like Dear McCracken and like Piano Teacher and Point to Prove and Boogie Pete. So they were old rough draft songs that I really, really loved the choruses of, which are basically unchanged. The chorus of Alchemical Romance, the chorus of 30 Plan are essentially the exact same as they were 6 years ago. So having those out in the world just feels amazing. It feels awesome because I've loved those choruses. I knew I had to do something with them someday. Captain says, "I've been hooked on the pinky promise, shifted one to the right. It's too soon for I do's, will you take and I might." That's I really like that line. It's funny. There's another line on 30 Plan that's the same. It serves the same purpose. It's in that kind of pre-chorus bridgey thing. I don't know. 30 Plan just kind of has 2 choruses. I don't really know how to like explain the structure of 30 Plan, but it's like intro, chorus, even bigger chorus, verse, chorus, another of those choruses, an even bigger chorus again, and then an outro. It's weird. Bedtime Story doesn't even have a chorus. I got kind of weird with some of the structures of the songs. Alchemical Romance it starts verse chorus, and then goes bridge outro, which is a lot. Cornfield is bothering. I'm bothering your friend with the messiness of my hair. Don't know what to tell you. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna just take questions for a little bit, questions and comments. This is just kind of my first time to interact live with people about the album, so I'm just gonna take it. I'm just gonna use this time. So Griffin points, the other line, "Kick the can down the road before we tie it to the bumper," is kind of the sister line to the pinky promise, shifted one to the right. And originally when I wrote the original draft of 30 Plan was like intro, chorus, with the chorus being the what is it, it's not that, it's that if we're both still single at 30, will you marry me? That's the chorus. It's the other one, or no, it's the but I am not your first choice, but I'm a solid 30 Plan, hot damn safety net that I am. That's the chorus. That's the original chorus of the song. And then the pre-chorus actually used to be the bridge. Basically all of those sections, the Pinky Promise and the Kick the Can Down the Road and the Time Capsule, those were all one bridge later on in the song. And then the song wasn't working, so I ended up just cutting that bridge into 3 parts and then moving them into like pre-choruses. So kick the can down the road before we tie it to the bumper. Single-handedly saved that song. I've been trying to get the song released for years just so that I could hold that line up to the world and say, look at what I did. But it's a very catchy song. So Poppy wants to know, what is my favorite chorus on the album? That's a really tough question. Robbing a bank, this is a stick up, put the money in the bag, is up there. One thing I really like about that chorus is the verses are in E minor, but the choruses are in E major, which just gives it a little extra pop that I love. So, gosh, so yeah, it might be that this is a stick up chorus from Robbing a Bank. It might be the 30 Plan. Either of the choruses, I love both of them. Alchemical is a simple, but it's one that like it'll sneak up on you and get stuck in your head. And I know this because I wrote that chorus 6 years ago. So yeah. Jamie says, I really like pronouncing HWAC, so it sounds like I'm saying whack with a southern drawl. I also like that, because this album does kind of whack you on the side of the head. But yeah, I've always loved, I kind of knew when I wrote the line in Not Like That, that was going to be the album title, because it just resonated with me like really like deeply. The line being, which again, spoilers, I kill for something to bring happiness without a catch. I want this, but not like that. As soon as I wrote that, I was like, that sure feels like an album title to me. And I was, I think, open to maybe finding something else, but in the end, I never came up with anything. The other album titles that the two of the album titles, I think, of the top three that I had, I made them act titles for it's kind of a 3-act structure on the album. So the first act is Not Like That, 30 Planet Platonic Best Friend. That is act 1. It's called Movie Night. And I think I would have been fine calling the album Movie Night, just thematically. It doesn't clue you in as much about kind of the overall themes that I'm going for with the album, but it does kind of talk about kind of the structure, I think. And then the other one being Silver Screen Nonsense, which was the title of Act 3. That was also a close contender for the album title, but in the end, that I don't know, Happiness Without a Catch, I couldn't get it out of my head. So, and then the second act title is Conversate and Make Believe, and that I never considered that one for the album title because I wrote it very, very late. I wrote it like after the Kickstarter, because that's part of Bedtime Story, which I wrote super, super late. So, Zane is mentioned in the premiere video. So if you watch the album video, all the songs have the little Catterbug camera in the left-hand corner, except for One Armed Hug, and yeah, it wasn't an accident. Evil Gabe wants to know, where did the bagels go? I don't know. Sounds to me like the dangers of blah 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 whatever. Okay, everybody wants to know about the bagels. The shocking plot twists imply that there are dinosaurs in space. Absolutely. I like to leave some things open to interpretation, but that one's, yeah, rock solid. Dinosaurs are in space. Master Fig says, but so could you have gone back and gotten more bagels and then gone back to the future? So, no, and here's why. Everybody, people are pointing this out to me like it's a plot hole. But in my headcanon, my time machine rules, because if you're the creator of the time machine fiction, you get to create the rules. of time machines. In my time machine rules, memories don't go backwards in time. So if you go forwards in time, you are not physically going forwards in time so that you could like see like the other version of you that didn't go forwards in time. Like it's not like your body goes through time, your mind goes through time, and you also go with like your memories up into the future. But if you go backwards into a state that you that you were in when you go back to. So you couldn't travel back further than your own life. And so if you do go backwards, you won't have any memories of the future, of what happened in the future. So, so if you went backwards to get more bagels, you would immediately forget that that's what you're doing. So that's my headcanon. That's my fan fiction about my own album. So it's not a plot hole. Y'all could stop saying, why didn't he go back to the past to get more bagels? And in another way, maybe he did. And maybe you just put the song on loop. Cornfield Crypta says, when did you come up with the idea of Bug Hunter as a superhero, and also why? That's a great question. So I have been wanting to write that song for a very, very long time. The original song that I was writing, basically it was just like, the song was from the perspective of somebody trying to like rally like the townspeople against this person for always just like disappearing whenever things are going wrong, and in the same kind of way that the song kind of goes, it becomes absurdly obvious that this person is not running away from the danger, but they are going to, like, kind of that classic Superman run into the phone booth, change, come out as, Superman, and, whatever. But I think I had a different, it was just like a character, and I don't know if I want to reveal what the actual superhero name was that I was originally writing about, because that is a lot of lore for week one. But it was fine. It was an okay song. You kind of like got it pretty quickly. And then there would be like a bridge where like live, me as the narrator, kind of the oblivious one, just gets the audience to just like, kind of call and response, rise up, like, we're going to go get this guy, for being such a coward. It's just kind of like an exercise in groupthink where the entire audience knows that this like person is the superhero, but I'm also, the performer audience relationship mandates that y'all go along with whatever I ask you to do. Anyways, it wasn't really working. And then I was writing the album. I had Robin and fan fiction, that couplet kind of written, and so I knew I wanted a superhero song for this album, because every song is a different movie genre, and that was just I was like, I have this superhero idea, and I have this album where I need a different genres of movies, and so like obviously a superhero movie would be great. And then once I kind of realized that it wasn't working because of how just like I had to create this character, but there was no kind of like emotional stakes between the narrator and the character, I was like, well, what if I make this a little more personal and make it a little more about the kinds of relationships where people feel like they're not good enough, or they feel like they are good enough, but their partner won't see it. And then from there, I was just doing the going into the chorus and saying more like Bug Hunter just slipped out, and I was like, that's very funny. That because people are going to assume, the first time I say it, people are going to assume be more like Bug Hunter, the singer-songwriter, who is currently doing this live stream. Not like I have to establish very quickly that in fiction world of this song, Bug Hunter is a superhero. And so the first thing that I could do to very quickly establish that is to say more like Bug Hunter, fighting petty thieves behind the Wendy's. Because I figured, well, no one's going to think that I do that. Yeah. And then once I had that, once the superhero's name was Bug Hunter, the whole thing just clicked right into place, and I wrote the song in like half an hour. So. Solar wants to know, is the order of the songs purposeful? Coward really leads into Robin and fanfiction really well. Yes, the songs are totally ordered in a way that is necessary. I don't think this album works if I don't order the songs like I did. I guess technically Two Bed, Two Bath and a Ghost and Shocking Plot Twist chronologically could change, and it probably wouldn't make that big of a difference. But they work better in that order. But that's the only one that at least the only two that I could potentially swap and still have it be all right. Literary Wizard says, honestly, fighting petty thieves behind the Wendy's sent me. Yeah. I don't love to drop brands in my music, even though I do it all the time, but I've made a conscious effort not to ever since the rough draft. And just, it ages things. I have the line in Making Up Words. It's like, maybe I'm not trending up on Twitter. And, here we are, 6 years later, and Twitter literally doesn't exist as a brand anymore, very famously. Not that y'all don't know what I mean, but, time passes, and in the same way that there are many of you who might genuinely look at me and say, what is MySpace? Like, not actually knowing what that is. You can't take for granted that brands are going to last forever in the public consciousness. So, I try not to put too many brands in my songs, but Wendy's paid me $1 million. No, I don't do paid sponsorship, and I don't think they would pay for that one. I don't know if that's a good brand association. It's just the funniest place that I could pick to to fight petty thieves. So Janice brings up the Mazda drop and It's Alright, where I say, I am not a monster though, I just want to park my Mazda close to home as possible. Not a brand deal, I just own a Mazda, I write about my life. There you go. Wendy's lifetime supply of Froggers. Froggers is what we ended up calling Frosties on tour, because I'm pretty sure Matt forgot what they were called and called them Froggers. But we got Froggers every night. And yeah, so if Wendy's wanted to, if any fast food restaurant were to sponsor our tours, it could be Wendy's, because we go to Wendy's after almost every show because my dad wants a Frogger at midnight. So Game Prism says, fanfiction reminded me of a few Narcissist Cookbook songs. Was it at all inspired by the style? Yeah, 1,000%. I think anybody who is in kind of our in our music sphere knows that Matt has a lot of kind of spoken word songs, and it's not that I haven't written anything like that in the past because I haven't wanted to. It's just never been kind of one of the tools in my tool belt. But yeah, I wrote Robin fan fiction after coming back from the UK tour with Matt, and just kind of seeing how Matt would get on stage and play these songs that obviously were very riveting when you listen to them on recordings, but also just getting on stage and just having 80 people in a room just go absolutely just still, while Matt will just play, will just talk. And it was just so powerful. And I was like, that is so cool. And I feel like, definitely inspired by Matt. I feel like I still spoke in my voice. I don't feel like I was doing a Narcissist Cookbook impression. In a lot of ways, that those sections of fan fiction felt a lot like these YouTube streams, these cozy Q&As that I do, where I kind of do a little chord stuff and just kind of talk. I tried to kind of channel that and kind of speak in my own like voice. And even Ladybug said, she's like, listening to that song feels like I'm just sitting like in a room with you, talking to you. And honestly, I used the demo vocals of fanfiction. I do demos of my songs just to kind of get an idea of their arrangement and kind of show them to people and say, hey, what do you think of this? And then we go into the studio and record in a studio in a vocal booth. I recorded in a vocal booth that, Nirvana and Macklemore and Foo Fighters have all recorded in, and I didn't do fanfiction because I was like, I'm not going to try and like recreate like the casual tone that I took with that song, and I literally just took the demo vocals and I put them in the finished track with the piano and the strings and the drums and everything, except for one phrase. There was one phrase that drove me nuts. That I kind of said it kind of sing-songy, that I didn't want it to be sing-songy, and so I dubbed over just that one like 5-word phrase. Besides that, the entire thing was literally a demo that I made because I wanted to show someone the song like 10 minutes after that, and I was like, I really need to like just get this done, and so I just didn't think about it and I just did it. Yeah, that's why fanfiction sounds like that. And I texted Matt the night that I wrote fanfiction, and I said, I am cookbooking out right now. So, yeah, good question. I have no shame in saying that. Yeah, I have definitely been influenced by Matt and their style of writing. And I would say I didn't do it just to do it. The cadence of fan fiction was incredibly purposeful in the flow of the album, like what was singing, what was spoken word. So. Ace of Nothing wants to know, what is the meaning of one-armed hug? What do you think it means? One-armed hug means a lot to me, in the context of this album, and I think it can mean a lot of the different things to a lot of different people. I've seen a lot of theories. Like I said, if you said it on the internet, I've read it. I've been in our Discord, Twitter, Reddit, YouTube comments. I've read a lot of theories. It started as a wedding song for a couple that reached out and wanted me to write their wedding song. So there's a version of One Armed Hug that's a little like a couple years old that is more tailored to their relationship. A lot of inside jokes and stuff. I kept the corgi in there because I needed the corgi, but yeah. But as far as how it relates to the album, my answer to that is very similar to my answer of what's the end of Two Bed, Two Bath, and a Ghost. I think it's totally up to your own interpretation of how One Armed Hug relates to the rest of the album. So, Poppy says, "Am I crazy that Bug's voice has gotten a little deeper over time? I heard Safe Word right before Platonic Best Friend, and noticed a slight difference." Could be. It could be. I think as you grow older, your voice deepens a little bit. It could also be the EQing and mixing of the album. I can't say for certain. I'm sure that my voice has probably gotten a little deeper, but there are things you can do with vocal processing that I'm not consistent. I don't have a normal way of doing things. And also, what day you wake up and decide I'm going to record the vocals for this song can dictate a huge shift. There's been times where like I was saying earlier, I redubbed that line in fan fiction, and I had to do it so many times because I did it 4 months later, and your voice is influenced by how tired you are, and if you're sick at all, if you're congested, if you're not standing at the same distance and angle from the microphone, or if you're using a different microphone, or there's a lot of different things. If maybe I was facing the microphone this way, or maybe I was facing it this way, and just the way things bounce off, it can sound different. And it was like a very long time before I was like, okay, I'm listening to this and I can't tell where the new line starts and when the old line ends. But there was like a lot of takes where I was like, it's so clear, just immediately. Sorry for snapping in your ear. Anyways. Benjamin Jackson says, I think 65 is the most I've seen on a stream so far. Yeah, that's quite a bit for a Wednesday night. I think we had more when Matt joined me for a stream a month back or so. Yeah. Sorry if I missed your questions. I think while I've been talking, I have not been looking at the chat at all. So if you had a question, feel free to throw it back in the chat. Let's keep things on topic as far as what we're talking about. Jaina wants to know, how did you and Deep Blue Ink meet? I saw Deep Blue Ink, the animation that they did for Mabim Bam very, very early on. Kind of, it was like maybe their fourth or fifth video that they had done. And I recognized that Deep Blue Ink had added a lot of humor on top of the bit that he was animating, which I think, there's a big difference between just animating a comedy bit and bringing it to life, and going like toe to toe with like visual gags that complement and elevate the source material. And I was like, well, I feel like my songs, especially some of the more humorous songs, like, I could instantly imagine Deep Blue Ink adding his humor and his just kind of his magic touch on top of it. So I reached out over Twitter, and it just so happened that Deep Blue Ink was kind of thinking about wanting to do an animated music video, and just kind of, not actively seeking it out, but just thinking about it. So it was just the perfect time, perfect storm. He didn't know Bug Hunter at the time, but has since become a fan. I sent Deep Blue Ink the album about 2 months early, and just got his opinions. Just kind of say, hey, I know you, I trust you, you want to listen to this? And he said that 11 of his top 15 Bug Hunter songs were on the new album, so that was some good pre-release hype. Yeah. Do all your albums and songs you pick to put on it have the same range of time of when you wrote them? Definitely not. So, the bulk of what I write comes from an era. I have four, what I call 4 eras of kind of songs, and these are split up basically between releases, but not exactly. Like, I technically wrote Dear McCracken before I finished Torn Between a Couple, but I had already like resolved in my head that Torn Between a Couple, the songs were the songs, and I wasn't gonna just at the last second like boot off a song from Torn Between a Couple and put Dear McCracken on that album. And so I wrote Dear McCracken probably 3 months before Torn Between a Couple was out, but my like next era, my album, my second Bug Hunter album era had started with the first song I wrote for it was a song called Those Words in That Order, which was turned into Alchemical Romance. And the second song I wrote was Dear McCracken. And the third one might have been Boogie Pete. So And my next era of songs starts now. And I like to go back and find old songs that I feel like had a lot of potential but didn't make a particular album. I famously have been picking the bones of the Torn Between a Couple demos for years now. Alchemical Romance and 30 Plan were old rough draft songs. What else? Robbing a Bank. The actual song "Robbing a Bank" is totally new. I wrote it from scratch as far as lyrics, but the backing, the production of "Robbing a Bank" it's an old Torn Between a Couple song. If it sounds like an old Torn Between a Couple song, it's because it is. I basically copied and pasted. I like opened an old Torn Between a Couple song that was called "Fake Your Death," and I said file duplicate, and then I took out the vocal track, and then I just started singing the words to a song called "Robbing the Bank" that I had written a week or two earlier that wasn't working as it was. The chords were a little different, the melody was a little different, and I was very pleasantly surprised that the words mostly worked. I had to kind of rearrange some things, like where the bridge was and kind of the order of the kind of the chords going from half measures to full measures. Yeah, Robbing a Bank I got very lucky with, because I was just sitting on that beat and that production and all the guitars you hear except for Jesse's solo. So Jesse added the solo into that song late into production, but the rest of it was just me 6 years ago working on Torn Between a Couple. So yeah, so if you recognize that it feels like Torn Between a Couple song, it totally is, but the lyrics, the idea, the concept are all new for Robbing a Bank. So was the line from Platonic Best Friend the 2 Peas in a Pod that you were worried everyone would miss? Yeah, and a lot of people did. I think I'd say if there's like 80% of people, if you're not looking at the lyrics when you hear that, you either just autocorrect your brain to think I'm saying 2 peas in a pod, or as some people have said, they just thought I was saying like 2 peas in a plod, like A space PLOD, and just was like, I don't know what that means. Kind of like a horse. And then just moving on with their lives and just being like, okay, Bug just said a random word and I don't get it. So yeah, but I'm very happy when people recognize that I'm saying 2 peas in a plod. So Dan wants to know, Dan Berenson, Mr. Dan wants to know, which came first, the overall arc of the album or the individual songs? That's a great question too. So a little bit of both, a little bit of neither. So I wrote some of the songs like Too Bed, Too Bath, Shocking Plot Twist, Not Like That. Those were written and mostly unchanged as I was kind of working on the album. And then I wrote Not Like That, and I was like, ooh, okay, I kind of got this like this, you know, this theme, this things are not what they seem, this kind of hopeless optimistic, you know, or you know, Not Like That can be interpreted in a lot of ways. It can be in a, you know, in this, you know, this optimistic way, or in this nothing's ever good enough kind of way. If you're always waiting for things to be perfect, they never will be, and you'll just always be disappointed kind of way. And so I had that, and then I knew my whole concept for this album was just writing an album that, you know, I didn't intend to kind of have a full story through the album like I ended up having. What I really wanted to do, my idea for the album was to have an album where every song on the album was a different movie genre. So you know, I had my horror movie was Too Bed, Too Bath, and a Ghost, and my historical documentary, historical nature documentary with a shocking plot twist, and I wanted a heist song, and I wanted a superhero song, and I wanted a time travel song, but at the time I was like, okay, I'm gonna write my heist song, and I know what I want my heist song to be. I want my heist song to be about originally it was robbing a Costco was the original idea for the original idea for the song. That's what I had in my notes, was Robin Acosko. Then I was like, you know what? I've already got this shocking plot twist song that kind of ends in this very unexpected way. Too Bad, Too Bad and a Ghost also kind of plays on plot twist tropes where it's very obvious from the first line what the plot twist at the end of the song is going to be. And I do this whole song and dance where I name a bunch of ghosts that it wasn't this one. Like anyone had any reason to think that it was. I've named 3 characters, me, the old man next door, and his dead wife. I wonder who the ghost is. So a lot of just playing on plot twists. So I was like, well, what if I do this again, where I write the song that I was going to write, but I don't reveal what it's about until the end of the song. And it felt like the melody and the force of Robin and Bank wasn't like, I was never going to be able to hit any kind of poignant note with that kind of tone. So I was like, okay, well, what if I just make this into a two-parter, like a fast-paced song and then a slow-paced song that kind of peels back the layers of the previous one. And then once I had that in place, I went back, and songs like 30 Plan, which was about a 30 plan but without time travel, and Alchemical Romance, which was about love without the twists in the middle, I took them and I rewrote them to kind of fit the movie genre theme and fit the story I was telling, and then kind of recognizing how One Armed Hug, which is a song that I already had, kind of played into it, and I rewrote a lot of that in order to get that to fit in the structure of the album. So a little bit of both, as far as, I want every song, and I do think that every song stands on its own. Like, you could listen to it and it's a great song, but then, as people have kind of recognized, the album comes together as a cohesive whole when you listen to it all together. So what font is the word spoilers? It is a font called Soap. And yes, I did buy the license to use it on merchandise, like an adult. I've been talking for a long time. This is the first song off an album called Happiness Without a Catch. It's called Not Like That. We have invented an invention. Duct tape, it's not like that. We have created a creation. Cupcakes, it's not like that. It's just a button, just a simple little button you can press. And when you press it, you'll be happy with no harmful side effects. Okay, our legal teams informed us we must warn you of the button side effects. You know that feeling when you had something to say and then forgot? This is not like that. You know that stress you get when you commit a crime and then get caught? This is not like that. It's just a button, just a helpful little button you can hit. It makes you happier for 4 to 7 hours, all depending on your blood type. Also, someone random on the planet dies. It probably won't be someone you know. You're gonna love this new thing, this happy feeling, machine side effects and strings attached. I want this, but not like that. We have revised a new revision. We got your feedback, you did not like that. We have modified the button. Now instead of someone dying, they will simply lose their balance as they're walking down the stairs. It's not your fault if they won't hold the rail. You're gonna love this new thing, this happy feeling, machine side effects and strings attached. I want this, but not like that. student oversleep their last exam, and a small business owner lose an envelope of cash, and a puppy will be told he's a bad dog when he didn't do anything wrong. You're gonna love this new thing, this happy feeling machine, side effects and strings attached. I want this but not like that. I wanna love this new thing. I kill for something to bring happiness without a catch. I want this but not like that. Thanks everybody. First stream performance of Not Like That. We played that song for the first time in Toronto earlier this year, and I was like so nervous because I was like, this is either going to land and it's going to be awesome, or it's not going to land at all, and this is going to be the longest 4 minutes of my life. But Toronto went nuts for it, and I was very pleased. Yeah, that's the first song off the album. We played it several times. If you were in let's see, Portland on the West Coast, we played it quite a bit on the West Coast. I think we were mostly playing that, and we played Alchemical Romance 1 or 2 times, and then this summer we started playing Not Like That quite a bit, and then we debuted 30 Plan in Omaha, and that quickly took over our like go-to song on that tour. So odds are you probably heard 30 Plan if you saw us in July, but I think I did play it about 6 or 7 times. So and it is super fun to play live. I am very excited for people to like know the song when we play it. Even in Denver, we played it in Denver, and sometimes I'm able to do this thing where I step away from the microphone in order to let the crowd sing a line that is a very well-known line, and then they just kind of carry it for me, and it's fun and it feels good. And I did that on the very last Not Like That in Denver, the first time that crowd had ever heard it, but they got the song so quickly. I was like, this crowd absolutely knows what's happening, and I stepped away from the mic, and they totally like finished the song for me, which was I'd never experienced that before, playing a brand new song and having a crowd pick it up and sing the last line of it. It was awesome. So good. So, yeah, there's some people in the comments that have heard it before. Ace of Nothing saw it in Hollywood. Jamie Plant was there in Toronto. Very cool. Yep, that was the first time I ever played it. And I remember messing up the key the first time I played it. I was like, whoop, nope, that's not it. And then started again. But y'all stayed with me. So Mara says, I heard that song at 3 live shows, and at 2 of them, some people booed at the bad dog line. Yep, I got y'all. Cool. I think that's all I have the energy to do tonight. Thank you for sticking with me through an abnormally kind of just chatty stream. I really just wanted to come on and say hello. Y'all are the people that support. Y'all are the ones that are, back to Kickstarter, came to shows this summer, have been listening to the album. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, if you missed it, we've had the five record-setting days. The top 5 Bug Hunter days ever have all been the last 5 by like 10,000 streams a day. And that's a lot in our world. It might not be a lot for like a Taylor Swift, but yeah, we basically, the day the album came out, we basically doubled our streams. Our what we were at to our world record that it's been awesome. Thank you so much for listening to the album. I'm glad you love it so much. I love that it's out in the world. It means the world to me to see so many supportive messages about it, and so thank you everybody for listening and giving me a chance on a 4th album. It's been 3 years since Bigger Than Myself, and I don't take for granted that y'all let me have those 3 years to come up with something worthwhile. So cool. Ba, 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 ba. We're doing a handwritten postcard of the day. Every day it's a new Happiness Without a Catch song. Tomorrow is going to be our first ever Alchemical Romance card. So I'm just going through in album order. So tomorrow is day 7 since the album released. So it goes up at 10 a.m. Eastern, and they have been going within minutes. Coin got today's for bedtime story. So cool. Join our Discord. I think Mars already posted it. Definitely get in there. That's where we all hang out, and I tell you about things like streams and new stuff happening and all that. So hopefully any of this information that I talked about tonight was entertaining in any way. Hopefully you've all heard the album and I didn't just like spoil the whole thing for somebody. But cool. I'm gonna go. But thanks for being here, and I will. I'll talk to y'all in the Discord, and I will see you. Don't know when I'm gonna stream again, but Sunday is normal, but can't promise. But I'll try to do something on Sunday. So hopefully I'll see you Sunday. Bye, everybody.